Those of us that are in real estate that become the best of the best, we understand, is because we just know it intuitively. For those of you that have a lot of experience in real estate, when you see a deal and a deal comes in, you can tell right off the bat how that deal is going to play out from beginning to end right up front, because we've done it numerous times. And for those of you that are at a level 1 or even a level 2 of your career, I have to advise you, get a mentor, get somebody that you like, that you trust, that can help you get to that next level, because understanding the experience of real estate is super important. Mastering your craft. Controlling the sale. Agents, the weak agents will get eaten up very, very quickly. You got to be strong and you got to be confident. And even if you don't have a lot of experience, you still have to put that out there, because agents will run all over you. How many times you call an agent and their ego kicks in and you're like, oh my God, like, tell me about it. Like, you call an agent and they're, yeah, so-and-so, blah, 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 and they have an ego right off the get-go, and it's so hard to work with them. Or you put a deal together and their ego comes into play. Don't have that ego. There's no room for it, and it's unnecessary. But that doesn't mean you can't control the sale. And you control the sale by controlling your client and also controlling the agent at the same time. I had a story where I was selling this house a few years ago. It was a $3 million home, and it was a second showing. I never went to the first showings, by the way, on luxury. Never. I either had someone go, or I usually had someone go, and if it was a second showing, then I would show up, because typically the first showings don't work out. And so I didn't want to waste my time. And I set the expectations with my client that on the first showing, so-and-so will be there to show the property. If there's interest, I will call them and I will close the deal. If there's a second showing, I will be there. I never had one client have an issue with that. You know why? Because I set the expectation up front. Just like setting the expectation for your client up front, when in this market, just know it's uber competitive. If we see something, I want to write before you even go see the home, and we'll worry about it in due diligence, because I want to control the contract. When you go into escrow, understanding and foreshadowing that there will be things on this inspection report, do not freak out. Clients don't know that stuff. Clients don't know that an inspection report has 20, 30 things and that's normal. They freak out, and then they cancel the deal because you didn't properly set the expectations of that. Same thing with the appraisal process right now. If the appraisal comes in light, don't freak out. We have options. Call me right away. This is what we can do. Other than getting the appraisal, thinking they're overpaying for a home and wanting to cancel right away. Foreshadowing and expectations will save you a ton of deals, and it'll put a lot more deals in the hopper when you do it up front. But I'm going to tell you a quick story about controlling the sale. You're going to like this. So, house, $3 million. Get their second showing. Lady loves it. And she's with her son who's going to ASU. And she turns to me and she says, what's the price on this home? I said, it's $3 million. And she stuck her hand out and she goes, you got a deal. And I shook her hand. This wasn't my client. This was the buyer's agent client who's right there. Buyer's agent grabs our hands and pulls them away. And she goes, no, we don't. And I look at her and I go, excuse me? And her client looks at her and and the agent goes, can I talk to you outside for a second? So she walks the client outside, and they're sitting outside, and I'm pissed. I'm sitting there, I'm like, what is this woman doing right now? What is she trying to blow? Like, we have a deal here. She's actually working herself out of a deal. So they come back in the house, and she's like, I'll call you later, this and that, and her client shook my hand. And as they're walking out, her name was Joan. I said, Joan, do me a favor. Will you call me when you get in your car? She kind of gave me a look. She's like right away? I go, yeah, right away. Call me as soon as you get in your car. She's like, okay. She calls me up. And here was my mindset. I knew I was going to put this deal together. But I wanted to fight her, and I wanted to fight with her right now. And I knew I wanted to do that right now because I didn't want to do it during due diligence, because I didn't want this woman blowing a deal. So I knew if I have it out with her right now, we can get over that part. So she calls me up, pick up the phone. I go, hey, thanks for calling. I just want to tell you something. You're not going to like it. She's like, yeah. I go, we're going to fight right now. But it's going to be a good thing that we fight right now. And she's like, what are you talking about? I go, why on earth would you do what you just did? If you blow this deal, your client doesn't get the house, you don't make 90 grand, I don't make 90 grand, my seller's pissed, what you just did, don't you tell me what to, I've been in real estate 40 years, and blah, blah, and boom, the fight started. And it was awesome, because I got it out of her, right? Like, she was pissed, and I was pissed, and she's reaming me that she's a veteran, and she does this, she knows this, and she knows that. I'm like, good, glad, I'm good. I still don't know why the hell you did what you just did, blah, blah, blah. So we're going at it for 10 minutes. We calmed down. I said, look, I want to get this deal done for you. Let's get the deal done so your client has a home. And you know what? Because I had it out with her then, we had the smoothest escrow process ever, because we didn't fight again. But I knew I had a fight coming with her, and I wanted to do it now rather than do it in the escrow process and during due diligence, because then it becomes a disaster. Nickel and diming little inspection items and shit like that, I didn't want to do that. It's a $3 million house. I want it to be done. So when you can control the sale and understand where you're at right now and where you need to be and how to get there, that's when you become a master of your craft. And that stuff's important. Not just controlling realtors, but also controlling your client.